And this was in 2014. And from what I hear, it's a lot worse now than it ever was in 2014. And it was bad then. I had a magnet on me. It's like, bring the psycho women to me. Hey, what's up? So this is not a budget video. So if you're looking for a budget video, sorry to disappoint you. This video is about why I will never move back to the US. So let's get into all the reasons. Are you ready? Let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Hey, what's up? It's JJ, the Lonely Bull in Asia, here in my condo in downtown Bangkok, and my beautiful condo. I love it here. It's Friday morning early. We had a little bit of rain, went out to breakfast. It's a little cooler today, but it'll get warm again. But we're in the rainy season. So I wanted to talk today about why the chances of me ever moving back to the U.S. are slim to none, unless some major emergency came up where I had to go back, medical or whatever, financial or whatever. That's the only reasons why I think I would ever move back to the U.S. Or if I got, kicked out of the country or something, I don't know. But I don't see that happening because I'm pretty much above board on everything. So let's talk about why I will not move back to the U.S. and why I love staying here in Thailand. So I've been living overseas here now since the beginning of 2022. So a little over 4 years, about 4.5 years. And in that time period, I lived almost 3 years in the Philippines, in Bonifacio Global City, Metro Manila. Very Western, smart city. And then I've lived here in the Bangkok area for a little over 1.5 years. I moved to the Phrom Phong area last November, so about 8 months now I've lived here. My condo, I'm paying about $750 a month US, plus about anywhere between $70 and $100 a month for utilities, sometimes a little higher, depending on how much I run the AC. I love it here. I got a nice deal on the condo. They gave me a discount because I signed a 2-year lease. So I'm here until November 2027, and then maybe beyond if I want to extend my contract here, or maybe I'll move somewhere else. But I have no plans to leave Bangkok, and I definitely have no plans to move back to the U.S. So the number one reason is cost of living. It is so cheap to live here compared to the U.S. I've got a Social Security pension, basically, that I transfer over to my Thai bank account, a portion of that every month, about 65,000 baht, which is about $2,000. And I live comfortably on that. So, and usually have money left over at the end of the month. So I use that money to pay for everything: rent, utilities, groceries, entertainment, restaurants, whatever, transportation, medical costs, different essentials, things like that. So, and it lasts me. I've never run out of that $2,000 or that 65,000 baht. I'm kind of a minimalist, so I don't go out to the bars and clubs every night. I don't eat at extravagant restaurants every night. Maybe once or twice a week I'll go out and spend a little bit of money on restaurant food, but not that big a deal. It's still relatively cheap to live here. So if I moved back to the US, my cost would go up exponentially. First of all, I couldn't find a place as nice as this for $750 a month. Probably be double that, at least, depending on what area of the country I'm living in. I would need to buy a vehicle because, unlike here in Bangkok, you can walk everywhere. I'm literally 10 minutes from 3 shopping malls, major shopping malls, 2 major grocery stores, dozens of restaurants, both Thai, Asian, and Western style restaurants, dozens of pubs and bars, 5 7-Elevens right on my street. So if I need to get something really quick, I just go into those convenience stores. Um, so it's super convenient for me. The transportation is easy. So if I do have to go somewhere that's not within walking distance, I have the BTS and the MRT, the train systems, SkyRail and Subway. And I can get almost anywhere in Bangkok using those alone. So I can avoid the traffic issues. If I lived in the US, I'd have to buy a car because just let's face it, the US is built differently. You, especially if you're in the Midwest or more rural or smaller communities, you've got a commercial area and you've got a residential area, and those rarely meet. So you've got, if you want to go to Walmart or a mall or a major grocery store or a hardware store, you're going to have to get in your car and drive there. You can't just walk. Now, that's general speaking. There are places, maybe you've got shopping malls or strip malls where you can walk to, but generally speaking, no, you're going to have to get a vehicle. So I would have to, if I move back, I would have to buy me a vehicle. If I wanted to pay cash for it, it would have to be some beater, I suppose, or some used vehicle that's not in the greatest shape, or I would have to finance a car or a vehicle. And then you're making monthly payments. So you got monthly payments. If you're financing, you got to get full insurance coverage. If you're not, if you own the vehicle outright, you still got to get insurance, liability at the minimum. So you're paying for that, which is generally over $100. I don't know what it is now, maybe up to $200 for full coverage, depending on what the vehicle is, where you live, what your record is as far as driving, what your age is, that sort of thing. So those are expenses right off the bat. Car payment, insurance, gas prices are astronomical right now. Those things I don't have to worry about here in Bangkok. So that's probably, I would guess, anywhere from $300 to $500 a month in payments just for those things alone that I don't have to pay here. So I'm saving a ton of money on that. Let's talk about the food. So yes, food in America is good. I'm not a big fast food guy, so that sort of thing doesn't affect me one way or another. Yeah, once in a while I like to get a pizza or a Godfather's pizza or something like that. But I can get that here. Not Godfather's, but I can get Pizza Hut. Let's see. Other food, I do miss my runzas in Nebraska. If you've never had a runza in Nebraska, it's the only place you can get it, I think. You need to, if you ever happen to be in Nebraska, check out a runza. It's life-changing. So I do miss that. But other than that, the food here is amazing. Thai food is close, if not the top on my list of food to eat. And it's cheap. I can go right outside my condo and the street vendors right there and get great food, great vegetables, great fruits, great street food for like 30, 40 baht, under $1.50 and have a full meal. If I want to go to the night markets, I can hop on a train and be there in 10 minutes easily. There's 2 night markets really close by, actually 3 really close by that are really good, and I can have a really good meal for 40, 50, 60 baht if I want. It just depends what I want, right? So the food choices are great, not just Thai food, but all Asian foods here. Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese. You've got them all here and within walking distance of my condo. If you want Western food, they've got it all. American, European, Italian, French, whatever the case may be. You can get a Banger's Mash at the English pub if you want to get that. If you want Middle Eastern food, Mediterranean food, they've got all of that here. So many choices because Bangkok's such a huge city and it's such a melting pot. And they're not franchise chain stores either, restaurants. They're locally owned and operated, and they make great food, even better than the franchise restaurants, in my opinion. So that's another reason for not wanting to move, because the food is great and it's really inexpensive. So you don't have to worry about spending a lot of money. Now I can, if I want, I can spend a lot of money. I'll go out to eat, a couple of times a week, and maybe I'll spend, five, six, 700 baht on a meal, which is $15, $20. I can do that. I can splurge every once in a while. That's not a big deal for me. But generally speaking, I don't even need to spend that much money. Like I had breakfast this morning at O'Shea's, big breakfast, Western style breakfast, and it only cost me 199 baht, which is under $6. So, yeah. So another reason for not wanting to move back to the U.S. is just the weather. I mean, yeah, if I wanted to live in a nice warm climate year round, I would pay for it. The cost of living would be sky high. Like I've heard San Diego is beautiful year round, but the cost of living must be outrageous there. I can only imagine. Like I said, I would have to get a second job, maybe even a full-time job to live in those places. Here, I don't have to worry about snow. I'm done being in cold weather. If it drops below 60, I'm cold. So it's the old age creeping in. My bones are aching. So I will definitely avoid the cold weather at all costs. I'll hit cool weather once in a while, like Vietnam in December is really kind of nice. It gets down in the 60s and it feels kind of almost that first part of Christmas season. So I'll do that for a few weeks and I'll get it out of my system. But I can avoid the snow and I can avoid the 0 degree Fahrenheit temperatures. I can really avoid those, and I don't have a problem not seeing any of that anymore. So here in Bangkok, yeah, it gets hot, but I've kind of acclimated myself to that. So that doesn't really bother me so much because I can hang out here or hang out in a mall or hang out in a restaurant or a bar where there's AC. And everybody's got free Wi-Fi. So it's really nice to just go anywhere and live your life. So I guess the last thing would be the dating scene. So I'll tell you a little story about when I was still living in the U.S. and I got divorced in 2012. And I started dating about a year or so later. And I was living in Evansville, Indiana. This is about 2014, I think. I was living in Evansville, Indiana. And I got on a dating site. I think it was Plenty of Fish. And I matched with this lady. And we started chatting. I think we were texting each other on the phone. And I was at work that day. And it was a Wednesday. I remember this because I said, hey, would you like to meet today? And she goes, yeah. I go, okay. So I get off work about 5, and Wednesday I usually go to this restaurant / bar down in the main area of town, and they have Wednesday drink specials. Would you like to meet me there? Here's her reply. Oh, so you get to pick where we meet. I go, okay. So I message her back. I go, oh, no, we don't have to meet there. Where would you like to meet? I swear to God, her next text message was, oh, so I have to pick where we meet? What the hell? So that was a big red flag. Obviously, we didn't meet. Obviously, I blocked her number. But that was a big red flag of things to come. And this was in 2014. And from what I hear, it's a lot worse now than it ever was in 2014. And it was bad then. I mean, yeah, I met a couple of nice ladies that we dated a little bit, but I met a lot of psychos too. And I'm sure it works both ways. I'm sure there are a lot of psycho guys too, but I'm not one of them. And I just had I had a magnet on me. It's like, bring the psycho women to me. So the dating scene was not good. And so in 2015, I started traveling to Southeast Asia and started doing long distance relationships, which kind of didn't really work either. And that's another story for another video. But moved here in 2022, moved to Thailand in 2024. And yeah, I mean, the dating scene is so much easier here, definitely in the Philippines. But even here in Thailand, you can find a really beautiful, good Thai lady to date that, maybe even if you're looking for younger, 15, 20 years younger than you, and she's beautiful and she's normal and you might have a life in front of you with that. So that's another reason, guys. So let me know in the comments below if you're planning on moving from your home country out here, maybe Thailand, maybe Philippines, maybe Vietnam, wherever, maybe somewhere completely different. Let me know your reasons why. If you're already out here and you're never going to go back home, let me know your reasons why on that too. I would love to hear that. And make sure you hit that like button, the thumbs up. It helps the algorithms, guys. If you haven't subscribed, please do so if you like my content. And hit the notification bell so you get notified when I post new stuff. And as always, live life, my friend. Sabay sabay, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.